So I was having this conversation with a young lady, and she's going back and forth with me talking about she doesn't think it's right that black men, successful black men, don't date black women, or she never sees a successful black man with a black woman. And I always think this is so funny that black women focus so much on successful black men, because in most cases, before that person was successful, they weren't. They were just a guy with a dream. They were just a guy with some ambition. And a lot of people, men and women, told them they're not going to make it. They can't do it, or didn't really offer any assistance. But for some reason, as soon as that person ascends to a level of success, well, now all of a sudden, everybody wants a piece of the action. Now you feel like, oh, I'm entitled to that because we went to third grade together, or we used to date back in the day, and now he's acting brand new. No. You're not entitled to anything that somebody else has. I'm sorry. See, you're focusing too much on the person's success instead of focusing on the person. Because the truth is, 8 out of 10 millionaires are first generation. Anybody can become successful here in America. Now, is it harder for some people? Absolutely. Is it easier for other people? Yeah, hell yeah it is. But it doesn't mean it's not possible. I mean, even if you take the basic strategy of investing, 10% of your income over a lifetime, you'll eventually reach some level of wealth. Or, you work your job, you save your money, you buy a home, hopefully it appreciates, or it doesn't. Either way, you sell it in a couple of years, you move up to a bigger home. If you just live life right, you have a pretty good shot of becoming wealthy. But we only focus on the guys who got wealthy while we didn't, who are wealthy now. And that's wrong. And the real messed up thing about it, the really, really messed up thing about this whole argument is that we're talking about success, right? Well, the average American family makes like $48,000 a year. So why is it we only ever talk about the millionaire guys or the guys who make $250K? Like, if I make $70,000, why isn't that successful? Why aren't you looking at that as successful? And in fact, why are we looking at the money as the success? Why isn't it a guy who makes $15,000 a year, who's doing what he loves, who's living the way he wants to live? Why is he not successful? Oh, that's what it is. It's that guy that you want, that you didn't help get where he got, that you're concerned about. You define success simply as monetary. And you only want a guy who's already got it. You don't want to be a part of the build. And that's why many women are complaining about successful men. You can pick any guy off the street and help him to become successful. Now, some people, again, it'll be easier for. Others, it'll be harder for. But there's so many opportunities in this country that it's like, if you really want to be successful, just open your eyes, man. I mean, simply not having kids out of wedlock early on in life, going to school, getting a degree in a field that is actually in demand, not no African-American studies or psychology. No, go get a real degree like engineering or maybe accounting or anything that really contributes to society, that gives you an actual skill. It has to be an applicable skill. I'm talking about when you graduate, you can go and work in that field. Yeah, get one of those degrees and you're going to be just fine. You're probably going to make 60, 70, 80, 100 grand right out of school. And all of a sudden becoming wealthy is not that difficult. So this whole idea of success is only being defined as money, as monetary, but you don't want to do what it takes to go get it, that's silly. Not to mention, you're part of the equation. Isn't there two people in a relationship? Why does the woman not have to have something to add to bring to the table? Now, in fairness, yes, there's going to be some women who are going to say they want a successful guy because they're successful. That's true. But, there's a real dirty, ugly truth behind all of this, right? And that's simply that there's probably more successful black women than there are successful black men. And men are immature. and we're getting options thrown at us left and right. So it's real hard for you to find a guy who even wants to buckle down. So the real thing that women need to be focused on doing, if you really want to find, quote unquote, a successful man, is finding a guy who's not successful. Find a guy when you're young. See, that's where a lot of you guys mess up. You focus on getting a guy when you're 30 or when you're 28 or after you finish that, you just finished your second master's. Or no, that's too late. You got to start thinking about long-time mate when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And when you go into your relationships early, thinking about that, you don't waste your time. You're not focused on dating this guy because he's a bad guy or because he's a bad boy. Or you're not dating this guy and you let them treat you like shit. Or you're not going to date this guy for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. No, you're going to be like, look, where's this relationship going? Do I see this guy as a lifelong mate? If not, I got to go. When you do that, you can make your decision very early. You can get married by the time you're 25. So while you guys are building this thing together and choosing not to have kids, you're able to build wealth. And since your success is only monetary, by the way, because this is apparently all women seem to care about when we talk about success. Since you're so focused on the monetary component, don't have kids. 2 people, get good quality degrees, and you will become rich. Maybe not wealthy, but you become rich. You'll have hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank or in assets. And we can solve all of this. The reason why you can't get a successful man is because you're not successful or because you waited too long to start trying to be serious. Or maybe it's just because the guy has too many options. Maybe you're not what the guy wants. So if you're not what the guy wants, then go find a guy who is what you want. And you two together can become successful. Like that's just crazy idea. That is a crazy idea for people. Oh my God, I have more than he does, so I don't want to be with him. Newsflash. Many guys who are wealthy or in a good situation are marrying somebody who doesn't have what they have. So why is it such a crazy idea for a woman to do the same? Like that's the killer for me. That's what really is funny to me. It's not like a lot of the women who are saying this are bringing in all this money and they're looking for somebody who's on the same level. No, a lot of them are just, they make 50 grand or maybe they make 100 grand, but they want a guy who makes 250. Well, that's not even. Why should the man have to bring his standards down? It's not always going to be equal by your definition. But if you really want to be with the person, you'll make it work. And then you guys can build together. You're going to have what you came into the relationship with and what you guys build together. And hopefully what you build together is bigger and better. If you want a good man and you want him to be successful, find a guy who has the same values that you have early and make it happen.